It's a new day. A good morning to you all. Welcome to the Koko Digest Morning Show. I am your host, Yaira Awuno. We're coming to you live from the studios of Clock TV. You can also catch us on GoTV channel 184. And if you're not in the comfort of your home, you can join us via social media on Facebook and on YouTube. Join in the live stream there. Just search for Clock TV and you'll find us. Follow us, like, share, and subscribe to us. You can send your comments to our live stream as well or to our WhatsApp number that will be displayed onto your screens. Now, today too is a very, very interesting day. We are going to be having the extended version of our online and print review like we did on Tuesday. So yes, we're going to have to spend some time with you, our viewers, where you can call and also share your opinions, weigh in on the discussions we're having here. We're going to be interacting with some guests also to speak on some of the trending issues and get some insights into what's happening around us. And on the lifestyle segment, we're going to be talking about music, the journey of one very good musician with Miriam Abnadide, handling that segment. So do stay tuned for that. For now, let's get prepared to be motivated. Now, as always, we like to motivate ourselves and our viewers as the weekend approaches. We need something to give us some food for thought as the weekend is here. And today's quote is by Maya Angelou, and she says, "When you learn, teach. And when you get, give. When you learn, teach. When you get, give." Now, this quote is just trying to tell us that true growth isn't about personal gain. It's about creating ripples of impact. Every lesson we learn, every blessing we receive becomes more powerful when shared. Teaching others solidifies our own understanding, and given what we have, whether knowledge, time, or love, it builds a cycle of generosity and connection. In a world that often teaches us to compete, Maya Angelou reminds us to contribute. Wisdom grows when it's passed on, and kindness expands when it is practiced. So this goes to tell us that sometimes whatever lessons we've learned, we need to share with, our friends and our loved ones. And it is not just, the older sharing wisdom with the younger, but the younger can also teach the older something. It's for every experience we have in this world, it is not peculiar. It is not, It's not very different. It's not strange. There are other people that have experienced whatever you could be going through, and it's good to learn from them. You could also pick something from somebody else's life and teach, the next person. And as, we have different generations as well, especially with the older generation not very open about mental health. You realize that the younger generation tends to be able to teach the older generation about mental health. So it goes both ways. It could even be that your child that you were able to send into an international school and whatnot could be learning a new language, a new foreign language, a new Ghanaian language. They could come home to teach you how to say maybe bonjour or nyejeko. It works in all spheres, so it's not just limited to one way of doing things where it's just the older advising the younger. It could be the younger also advising the older, and it could also be among peers. Sometimes some people go through certain things at very young ages where their mates are even shocked, but it all comes down to teaching one another. Whatever lessons, whatever blessings you've gotten in life, it's good to share. It helps with even building our community. And as this weekend approaches, I'm sure we'll be learning one or two things and sharing with our friends and loved ones as well as our older generation as well. Now let's take our weather forecast for today, and it's brought to us by the Ghana Meteorological Agency. So let's get into that quickly. Now, the summary of today's 24-hour impact-based forecast for Ghana says, as mentioned in the weather warning earlier, the rainstorm has weakened and it is currently producing rains of varying intensities along the western coast, leaving the eastern portions under cloudy conditions with a likelihood of slight rains. Misty and foggy conditions are expected over the forest and mountainous areas, which may affect visibility. As the day unfolds, a mix of sunny conditions and cloudiness are expected across most sectors, with the possibility of localized thunderstorms or rain over parts of the East Coast, middle transition and northern sectors from late morning into the evening. Now, this is our weather forecast for today. So yes, we are still seemingly in the rainy season, so be strapped with an umbrella, a raincoat, and if you have a vehicle, please, help someone out, give someone a lift when, the rains are starting. Let's bless one another with kindness as always. Now, let's prepare to get into our online and print review segment. We'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. And if you're just tuning in, it's time for our online and print review. And I have with me my co-hosts here who are also going to be liaising with some of our guests. And I have Clement Yabankwe and Miriam Abnadidi joining me here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, so I think this one I'll let you tell us what you're going to be doing today. I know Clement has something he's going to be sharing with us, and then Miriam also has something.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be having a guest on the lifestyle segment, and as we usually do on Thursdays, we have someone in the music industry or entertainment industry to, have a chat with the person. The person walks us through his or her journey in the industry, and so that's what we'll be doing. We'll be ending the Koko Digest Morning Show with some fun. Entertainment. And today we have a lot of trends. So many stories, making headlines in Ghana's, front pages, our papers, and also on the internet. And before we even delve into that, today is the finals of the National Science and Maths Quiz. Have your school, contested before? Clement, I can see you are smiling.
Oh, yes, because when you go to Western people, they don't know about the school. Yes.
Which school?
SHAS as the icons of excellence. And
Wow.
it's quite unfortunate that this year we were unable to get there. But I've previously been performing very well.
Yeah. My school, was privileged to have been part of the contest. And
That is why you started with that.
we got somewhere. We didn't get close to the finals, but
I think my school also did get in. I don't know if it's this year or last year, but yeah, they made.
So yes, today is the finals, and 3 schools are making headlines, and we'll be looking at that. I don't know if we have pictures or videos to project so that our viewers can, get to know what we are talking about. But today is the National Science and Maths Quiz finals, and I know St. Augustine's is in the competition,
Infantipim, and Opokuwari. Yes.
These 3 schools, thank God Presec is not part.
Oh, come on.
They've taken it so many times.
If they are good, they are good. You can't fight it. Just if you can't beat them, just join them.
I saw a comment on the socials and GSTS were like, "Hey, Presec, I feel the man Presec be this second." I said Presec.
I won't feel
But
some people have been asking, what is actually the benefit of this National Science and Maths Quiz?
Exactly.
Clement,
Exactly.
how do you think it benefits our students?
Mimi, I don't know, but I think I have a different perspective when it comes to National Maths and Science Quiz.
Yeah.
I know the reason for introducing this is to help the science and the maths students.
Yeah.
And I see it to be more of theory, other than the practical things we need. Every year, I think they should consider making it more problem solving.
Okay.
It should be solution based. Let's forget about what is atom, what is matter, what is this, what is that.
Find
A
X,
plus 2 is equal. That is not really solving our problem as a country. So I think that the organizers need to consider and restructure the National Science and Maths Quiz and how it should go so that we get the solution based. And it should be like, yes, the contest, like the finals, we give every school, we have a lot of issues in the country, science-related issues in the country. Let them bring solution.
Yeah.
So I think regarding that, then we are going out there, we are going to the next part. But if not for that...
I can see you are smiling.
Well, I think I beg to differ. First of all, how many of these schools have fully equipped science labs?
Yeah.
Secondly, these are just senior high school students. You cannot expect them to be doing advanced science. So like with the engineers and the, scientists and things we have in the country, those are the things. But I think I understand you to an extent, but it's more like what we see in the movies where the students who mix some chemicals and then the foam comes up. Maybe that's what you're talking about, but don't talk about problem solving because these are SHS students. What can they solve?
SHS. I don't go there.
No, but when it's national issues...
The kind of things SHS students can do. Oh, I'm internal solution. I'm internal problem solving. Yes, so I think, as you are saying, some school lacks some kind of amenities and facilities. I think when this thing is being restructured. Trust me, you get investors coming on board. We get the education service looking into the various science laboratories and facilities of this school. So I think they should.
Because I remember titration and some things crystallizing. I only learned it theory because the science lab was not equipped. It was derelict. Most of them are like that. The ancient times when they were equipped, when some of these things got broken and the rest replacements were not given. So maybe that is the one thing we should shed light on, that these students need fully equipped science labs. Now, somebody here has commented accusing me of something that may be true. She says, my attire shows that I am supporting Buchi.
So you
well, maybe.
I see.
Well, so let's, well, I mean, the red and black, it speaks for itself. It's
But say the truth. Say the truth and let's continue.
Well, yes, I would support Fancy Pim. I mean,
Why?
Jane Shekan.
Why? The why factor? Why?
Why factor?
Why
Saying, have you not heard of Fancy Pim?
Mimi, I think we shouldn't go to the why. Let's leave the why for her. Yes.
It's watching all the way. But I was wearing this because of the fact that some people lost their lives tragically to a fire, so more of a mourning. But I mean, it serves two purposes, so why not? So this is just in solidarity with the family that lost their lives in the arson attack that we'll be talking about later. But Miriam, I was hoping you would talk about your conversation with the psychologist and shed some light on that for us.
Yes, interestingly, yesterday we got to know that the rate at which most of our youth are being depressed and anxious is, being related to their involvement in gambling and other
risk analysis, as we like to call it.
We'll be having a psychologist on board and we'll be interacting with him to find out how true the statement is and what we can do. I mean, the way forward to helping our youth, stay away from gambling, which I seriously doubt if it's going to really
the Lord is our shepherd. Now, still on the National Science and Maths quiz, let's take a look at some of the videos and, prepare for Buchi's win.
This my life, I didn't choose. I just put my all behind. Take me wherever you want to. My invisible black wings flying intercontinental. Victory, victory, that's my story. 'Cause I never surrender. As long as I can remember, I've been a hustler, hustling. Victory, victory, that's my story. 'Cause I never surrender. As long as I can remember, I've been a hustler, hustling.
Oh, go ahead. Well, that was a video of the schools showing some jama in preparation and for support for their colleagues. And we were just talking back here about the schools we support. So it seems my colleagues have also taken stances. Yes. So let's hear you.
I'm not surprised they are supporting Infanta Pim, because they are the defending champions and you are always standing behind, champions. Until the why? Because Augustins, we haven't really won, in a while. So I think I can support them. I have some kind of a touch of green in my dress. So
Right. So it seems you're taking up Koko.
Exactly. Since the ladies more confrontable chrome there. Let them go to Kumasi. Yes, and support Koko Are, and I know Koko Are is going to win this contest. Yes, they're going to win.
Should we do risk analysis on it? Well, that being said, I think we can also touch on the fact that we've seen. I think I've seen videos of some vandalism that has gone on over the years by these students, and it's something that needs to be addressed. What is the level of discipline that these students are being given, and why do they get to portray their schools in this way? Because I remember some time back, the mistress, I think her bag was stolen.
Yeah.
Those things. And it's like, you're here for a competition. Why does all this happen?
Yeah.
Is it because they are
Overly
So
youthful exuberance? What are your takes?
let me pick from this angle. Even in the Bible, when the saints gathered, the devil was there. Yes, so we could see a lot of actions, maybe directly or indirectly. It's not the students who are actually doing that. Some might be in the uniform of the school, but they might not be students. Yeah. That is point number one.
Each of us went to SHS.
Yes, that's point number one. Point number two, I think that is why the Ministry of Education is touching on discipline in the various institutions that we have. So I think let's all advocate for discipline in these institutions. Gone are the days that when the students misbehave, punishment is given. Either for you to wait, either for you to, they lash you, give you some kind of. But when it came out, people were talking against it. So it's like now there's much freedom and anybody can do anything at all in the senior high school. So I think it is something we need to take a critical look at, and that part need to be regulated very well. That is all I'm saying.
Well, me, I would like to touch on the punishment aspect. If you are a student and you are going out to support your school, that should be your main focus. Go and support. If you go there and cause any chaos, you should be arrested and treated as.
But these are minors.
Minors.
Yes, arrest.
Minors.
Yes.
And they are able to, carry weapons and, other things. This thing will be happening at the University of Cape Coast, mixed with, the University of Cape Coast has,
too.
diaspora and all those kind of things. They'll be mixed with the people there, and you can't identify if this is a student or this is somebody, anywhere passing by. So they should be arrested. That's it. And speaking on the University of Cape Coast, we know some people are writing receipts and your receipts or support the school.
Right, so let's go into the front pages of your digitized newspapers. It's been a while since we had those on here. So let's get into it. Who goes first? Ladies first.
Maybe we'll go.
Okay, so we have graphic showbiz, and on the front page, we have push for TGMA to honor designers. That is, I don't know if we have that on the screen. Push for TGMA to honor designers by Gifty Owusu Amwa. A fashion designer, Robert Raymond Kujo, has urged organizers of the Telecel Ghana Music Awards to acknowledge the vital role of fashion designers and stylists in shaping Ghana's music industry. Well, I think I agree with him. There's also another one here which says, Ami Newman speaks out. Gospel is ministry, not showbiz. And I think I also agree with her on that. Just this year, dear, I'm just agreeing with everybody. But speaking about, honoring fashion designers, I mean, before an artist will look very presentable and, all flashy and everything, it was someone working behind the scene. And so fashion designers, stylists, makeup artists, we should have some categories for these people. Even though we know we have beauty awards, that kind of thing, we can have just one.
Something like that for them too.
So that they feel appreciated. And also, speaking on gospel being ministry and not showbiz, well, Apostle, what do you think about
You've
this?
heard of this.
Yes.
Take us.
They say God loves beauty, like beautiful things. And say, me a gospel musician, I have to look, flashy. So that's a very nyame.
Gone are the days you see people in straight dress and we describe them as soft mommy and all that. But now we don't see the straight dress again. Yes, appearance really counts in the ministry, but appearance would not determine whether you go to heaven or hell. That is the point I do to believe. It's a matter of the heart. It's a matter of how you believe in God. So in as much as we are saying that gospel need to have the fashion aspect, we shouldn't dilute it.
Yeah.
That is the only thing I want to say. We shouldn't dilute it. But you can keep going.
I see.
Right. Speaking on the fashion, honoring them, I think it would even help the TVET industry come up more, because when we are trying to get our youth to go into learning these skills and the rest, only to be, and now we're hearing that when you get to a certain level, you could even be awarded as best fashion designer. I think it is something that would motivate them. So we should look into doing something like that, because these days, the kinds of things that people are sewing, these wedding dresses, these awards dresses, it's so beautiful. And the hairstyle, sometimes it's amazing to see creativity come out so much. And even some of the makeup looks, it's like, hey, like they've changed you into a whole new creature, and it's like, hey, and then you're over me,
Yeah, and that's what we do best at Mimi's Glam. We do that over there for your best hairstyling and makeup artistry. Contact us, Mimi's Glam, and we got you.
Right. And I think we have a few. We should just give our other makeup artists some shout out. So there's also Lynn's Looks Makeover as well. So these two are the main makeup artists here. And then Hanel's Beauty Plus as well. You can find them on social media, get your slayed looks as well.
And of course, EC Collections.
Yes, EC Collections for very beautiful clothes. And then Jerusha's Clothing as well. Yes, I'm giving them shout outs. She's been on my neck. I keep forgetting. Yes, Jerusha's Clothing as well. So you can contact me. I will link you to her. You just find her on social media and be linked with very good and beautiful clothes. Clement, what do you also have for us on your
Yes, I have a daily graphic. On the front page of the daily graphic, as you talked about, a very sad incident. And husband burns wife and 5 children. And suspected wife of... Okay, I will not. We have the other story. GRA simplifies tax for informal sector. We have Shraj, indict former GRA boss. We also have digital realty opens large data center in Accra. So these are what's happening on the front page of Daily Graphic. A very sad incident. The main story. I'm wondering why you would burn your whole family. What could be the cause? What could be the problem? Even if the wife is suspected of cheating or any other thing, does it guarantee the point of burning them,
and
including your children?
The innocent
At
children.
the end of the day, you also killed yourself. So,
you see, the issue of mental health, I don't know. I think it should be a national concern. Like, it should be something that we will be talking about each and every day. We have to be propagating mental awareness, mental health awareness, because people think they are fine, but they are not.
They are not fine.
You are not fine until something happens. That's when you realize that there is something within you that can do worse. So people should really seek, psychological help or assistance, because before they come and finish all of us.
But you see, I think on this very incident, though Ghana National Fire Service has released a communique, and we'll be speaking to that, but we have a lot of things we need to look at in this scenario.
Yeah.
Mimi touched on the aspect of mental health. This aspect of mental health, the question is, if an ordinary Ghanaian wants to check the state of his mental health, what is the process? What is the cost involved? If just for diagnosing, then you are supposed to pay huge sums of money. It discourages people from taking such a step. The question is it part of the NHIS?
Yeah. Well, I think when we speak with the psychologist, we can ask him some of these questions in some of the remedies. Now, we also have the Divisional Officer Grade 2, Abdul Hudu Asil, on the line. He's the Central Regional PRO for the Ghana National Fire Service. But before we start to speak with him, I'm going to read the report that was made by the Ghana National Fire Service quickly, so we get to know what's happened, and then we ask him a few questions as well. So, family of 7 perished in fire outbreak at Junkwa Achimpim in the Central Region. And the first says, the Ghana National Fire Service regrets to report a tragic fire incident that claimed the lives of 7 family members at Achimpim in the Upper Daintra East Municipality of the Central Region in the early hours of Saturday, 1st November 2025. 2, Dunkwa Onofin Fire Station, upon receiving the distress call at 0104 hours, that's 1:04 a.m., responded promptly to the fire involving a 4-bedroom house numbered AA5259/7534. 3. The crew arrived at the scene at 0120 hours and discovered that one of the bedrooms in the affected 4-bedroom house was fully engulfed in flames with a padlock. The firefighters tactically contained the blaze at 0132, that's 1:32 a.m., successfully preventing it from spreading to the remaining 3 bedrooms. Sadly, a family of 7 lost their lives in the fire. The victims included 5 children between the ages of 1 and 15, 2 adults believed to be the mother of the children and her eldest daughter, who could not be rescued in time. Preliminary investigations indicate that the husband of the deceased woman allegedly set the bedroom where the 7 victims were sleeping on fire and padlocked it from the outside before fleeing to a nearby bush where he is believed to have taken his own life. Sadly, the badly charred bodies of the deceased were handed over to the Ghana Police Service at the Atichim for further investigation. Subsequently, the police also discovered the body of the suspect, who hanged himself in a nearby bush. The Ghana National Fire Service extends its deepest condolences to the bereaved family and calls on the public to remain vigilant and fire safety conscious at all times. The service further urges the public to call the nearest fire station or dial the GNFS emergency numbers 112 020 1500 360 0302 772446 immediately when fire outbreaks occur to enable firefighters respond swiftly and save lives and property. The Ghana National Fire Service remains committed to its core mandate of saving lives and protecting properties and continues to work tirelessly to ensure the safety of all citizens. And this is signed by Abdul Wasiu Hudu, Divisional Officer Grade 2, Central Regional Public Relations Officer. And he's on the line, so we'll be speaking with him. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Koko Digest Morning Show.
Most welcome.
So, straight into the conversation about the fire. When and how did the fire start, and how quickly were you able to respond? I mean, considering you got the call at 1:04 and you got there at 1:20, were there any challenges that you faced?
Thank you very much. Yes, just as you mentioned, somebody drove to our station at Duncanopin to report the incident. So quickly, our firefighting crew were dispatched to proceed to the scene. So we got there 1:20 when we discovered that the fire was at its fully developed stage. So the firefighters quickly, as part of our standard operation procedures, went into action and started trying to defend even the fire from spreading to the adjoining rooms.
Right.
So we were able to contain the fire and totally brought the fire, extinguish the fire.
Right.
So it was after that we did our search and we observed that about 7 family members were dead beyond recognition in that particular press.
Okay, so seeing as the lives were lost, is there any challenge, any particular challenge that you faced in fighting this fire?
Probably the access to the room was one of the key challenges.
Okay.
Because when we got the room, there was the padlock on the room. In a normal way, if you are in a room, you rather lock inside, but this one was locked outside when all the 7 people were in the room. So we had to break the padlock before we could have access to the room. And secondly, the window to the room was also with this metal bars. So that one was not also easy to access.
Okay.
So we had to break the padlock and enter through the gate.
Right. So, through the investigations, were you able to find how the fire was started? Was it an electrical thing or some flammable or inflammable, material?
Yes, as for how the fire started, we are still investigating on it.
Okay.
But from our interviews around, it was alleged that the husband to this particular family had a hand in it.
Okay.
So we, with the Ghana Police Service, started our investigation and a search for the man to access the investigation. Then later we found out that the man had also harmed himself in the bush.
All right. So were there any smoke alarms or fire safety conscious measures that were put in place in the house already?
No, it's just a normal Ghanaian home. We could not find any serious fire safety measures at home. And based on information we have gathered and some of the things we saw at the scene, there's still some suspicion. So there are certain things, because the police are still investigating, we want to be very careful when we put them outside.
Right. So what are some of the lessons the public can learn from this tragedy?
Yes, sometimes in our various communities or households, there are certain comments or rhetorics members do make that we downplay. Sometimes that leads to this particular situation. For example, it was found out that the man in question had always been threatening to eliminate the family.
Okay.
And because of its abusive nature, the whole community thought it is just one of the rhetorics of that man until this particular day when this
You finally
incident happened.
did it.
So what I want us to know is that we should not downplay some of these threats or rhetoric that we think makes us uncomfortable. It is very, very important we either draw attention of family members or we draw attention of the Ghana Police Service for them to give us better advice and better protection in order to avoid some of these unforeseen situations.
Right. Okay. So is there any support that we can expect from the Ghana National Fire Service to the family, the extended family, and then the community as well?
Currently, the case we have done our part. We are assisting the police with somewhat evidences from our side for them to conclude their investigation.
Okay.
In case the police needs any assistance, we are there, but there's nothing else we can do now.
Okay. So will the Ghana National Fire Service be embarking on any awareness campaign in that community soon?
Of course, it has always been one of the methods we use. Anytime there is fire, we conduct our investigations, and the findings we add it up to our fire safety education, and we make sure we draw people's awareness to that particular situation. So this one has been one of the cases that we have to study and see how we use it to reinforce our fire safety education.
Right. So my co-hosts also have questions for you. So let's hear from them. Clement.
Please, just one question for you. I think we've gotten your findings, and also we've got to understand that allegedly the husband is said to have caused this incident. The question here is, given the Ghana National Fire Service mandate to educate the public and inspect building safety as per Act 537, what more do you believe must be done to ensure that private homes, especially in rural or semi-rural municipalities, meet basic fire safety? Because per report, you realize that the door was locked. So if there are other exit places, Ghana National Fire Service could have used to save these people you are talking about. So what other more system do you think that you are going to put in place so that issues like this will not happen again?
When it comes to fire safety, it is mostly it's a shared responsibility. It is for us to give you the basic fire safety tips or education or advice, and it is also left for you to implement it. If it is public places, then we have some laws or standards that we are supposed to enforce. But individual homes, you have the responsibility to ensure that some of these educational advice we give you, you follow it to the letter. Like you said, we have always been educating the public that using burglar proofs in your own homes, you set yourself as a prisoner in your own, because in case of emergencies like this, it becomes very, very difficult for you to escape or for fire service to even have access to your premises. And it keeps happening. Even recently in Winnipeg, it was one of the cases, that situations that made it very difficult for us to access the house that got burned totally. So this one, ours is to give you the education, but it is for you to also implement it.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much, sir.
Do you have a question? Okay. Thank you so much, sir. We hope that we will get more information on how exactly the fire started so that, we can protect ourselves and also be on alert. We hope you have a good day. Thank you for joining us. Right. So moving on into the conversation, I think you were talking about mental health, and he also mentioned that it seems that the culprit, who's also deceased, was an abusive husband. And it comes back to, the conversation about mental health. It's a whole sphere of a lot of things put together, because now domestic abuse to this point where you've set your family ablaze. What about the victims? Now the victims, after going through all that abuse, whether emotional, mental, physical, or all together, have now been murdered as a result.
Yeah, it's not surprising because recently there has been a campaign in Nigeria, Justice for Uchanya.
Yeah.
A young girl who was abused sexually by her auntie's husband.
And his son.
And the auntie was aware her husband was an abuser or abusive person. So I'm just saying that most women are aware of the kind of husbands they have or the kind of men they have and their issues. But they keep quiet all in the name of I'm protecting my marriage or I'm saving my marriage. If you're lucky, you might not end up like this woman. But if you're not, you go and join your ancestors.
And the protection that you're protecting will not even protect your life.
Now you are gone and your kids are all gone. Exactly. The man is also gone. So women should start speaking. I don't want to limit it to just women, but
we
people
should
with
speak
abusive
up, yes.
partners should start speaking up because there's nothing to protect. At the end of the day, the marriage will still go down the drain.
Makai, so for be say, Yanfa worry and go heaven.
Because even our religions behave like that.
Into our remnants are worrying and it's better you stay away from it. But we are yet to get the findings of this situation. If really. But I'm wondering why.
How are you going to get the findings?
I'm wondering why the suspected person also killed himself.
And you know the repercussions. You've taken 7 lives. Do you think it's 2 months in prison? No, it's life imprisonment with hopefully hard labor or something.
So I think they'll continue the court case at
and I'm hoping that conversations with neighbors and people around them, maybe the victims have confided in other people so that we can get to hear more about this, create more awareness on domestic violence and the effects, and what we should weigh what is important to protect your children, your life versus your marriage.
People should also stop centralizing their lives around their partners. No, you end up being depressed. Now, I also have a concern. The fire officer made mention of the fact that most of our buildings today have burglar proofs and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
It is not for fashion that they have burglar proofs and those
Yeah.
kind of things. It is for security reasons. How is our security in this country? I put up a nice building and people think I'm rich, and so they can just invade and rob me.
So when you're putting it up, you'll be measured in your.
Yeah.
So
I think
if it's too attractive, once in a bound.
yes. So let me talk on two things quick. On Mimi's point of marriage and how to handle marriage. The book of Genesis makes us understand
Hey,
that
take us
a man will leave the family and cleave with the wife. So marriage should be about the husband and the wife. So if the wife is dependent on the husband, it's a good thing because that is what marriage is supposed to
I'm
be.
just saying
But
solely. Don't make your husband the center.
Please wait.
okay,
No.
Define the
coming.
depending.
I'm coming. Let me. Because in the Garden of Eden, God used the nakedness of Adam and Eve to depict to mankind that in marriage, a woman's nakedness, not as in nakedness, but everything should be
sense.
yes, not in literal, but everything should be open. We need to be very transparent. You, the wife, be transparent to your husband. You, the husband, be transparent to your wife. As Mimi was saying, before you got married, you know or you knew. Some action, some red flag will show.
Yes.
But for you, you might think it's not red, it's green, it's black. So you go on. On the other exactly, that is on the other side of the story. But let's go to the aspect of fire safety. You see, Yara, it's a key thing that we need to look at. In our various homes, fire safety has been neglected or we've taken it for granted. The concern has been in business organization, at marketplaces, and we don't, when we go to some houses, there's no fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
So if an issue of fire should spark right now, everything will go condemned. And on the issue of, like Mimi was talking about, you've used that is it burglar proof for your window, but this is Ghana National Fire Service telling us that is not a good option. Because looking at the situation we have, they had that to protect the window. And that one couldn't give the Ghana National Fire Service access into the room. Assuming the window was just a glass or something or net or something, even the victims themselves could have break the window and escape. So
they should also start finding ways of breaking these burglar
But
proofs.
you know,
no, because we can't also leave our houses.
No, I don't think it even has anything to do with a burglar proof. I'm now wondering how big was this padlock? Because I know the fire service, they usually have axes and those mallets that sometimes they can break the doors and things. So how big was this padlock that it seems to have been quite a challenge to break it down?
So obesi obedi we wa. Padlock obe use 2 hours. So the only thing is let's get the exit route. So when you're putting up your structure, make sure at least I know some buildings have emergency exits. Let's get those kind of things, even in vehicles. Even
higher. Come on,
get an exit route somewhere so that
fire escapes and things.
Aside fire escape, and robbers can come to your house. There's an exit route they don't know. By the time they come in, you are gone. But for you, your whole house, you have only one entrance. So if the robbers come, they use that's one way in, one way out. Where will you pass? And the window you're supposed to jump through to is burglar proof. So you're going to die. That is the issue. That is the issue we have.
I think what I will add to it with regards to abuse, especially in marriages, is that we should advocate for financial independence for women. If you are independent enough, you have enough finances that you can pack it should be 6 children and leave that abusive marriage. It saves your life, it saves your children, and safeguards their future as well. But if we want to continue this, it will go into a whole new topic. Now, Clement will be giving us a presentation on the Interior Minister's speech and presentation on the findings with regards to the 2020 and 2024 elections and the misbehavior that went on and what the recommendations are also going to be. So right after this quick break, we will be hearing from Clement giving us all the figures and facts. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You're welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. And if you're just tuning in, we're having our extended online and print review. And I'd like to remind us to send our comments to our YouTube and Facebook live stream or to the WhatsApp number displayed on our screens. And the phone lines are open, so we'd like to hear from you. Call and weigh in on the conversations here. Share your thoughts and opinions. And as always, I would admonish us to keep it respectful. Now, Clement is on standby to give us a presentation about our Interior Minister's speech and, with regards to the investigations on the 2020 and 2024 electoral process and some of the mishaps that went on, the investigations and the recommendations and solutions and the way forward. Facts and figures are all here. And so let's get into that. Clement.
Yeah.
Yes, I see you are ready to give us presentation. So let's get into the presentation. I have my tablet here. I'm going to be typing my notes.
Okay, so thank you very much. As viewers can see, this is the smart view, and we are bringing in the breakdown of the press briefing from the Minister of the Interior, and it is all about the 2020-2024 general elections. We all remember issues happening, people dying, people losing their life, and some gunshots. So, Interior Minister gave us the breakdown. The number of deaths in 2020, the number of injured people, and what the findings may be, being the causes and the recommendation moving forward, so that especially in 2028 general election, we will not be facing incidents like this. So when you take a critical look at this, the 2020 breakdown, in 2020, findings reveals that, yes, we remember Techiman South, and a place you can't forget in 2020 general election. And this, the report makes us understand that Techiman South number of deaths, there were 2 people who lost their life going to vote to elect a leader for the country. They need to sacrifice their life. 2 people gone. The same Techiman South, 9 people were injured in Techiman South. So the people have a lot of questions. Ask them that if I'm going to just exercise my franchise, then I'm going to die, lose my life, then how safe is our electoral process? In the same 2020, when you go to Odododio, which is just nearby to where we are located as Clock TV, 2 people also died at this very constituency, and 15 people were injured. 15 people. When you go to Ablekuma Central, and Ablekuma Central, we had 1 death recorded and 4 injured people. When you go to Banda, we had 1 death recorded and also 2 injured recorded. 2 injuries. Doma West, 1 death, and also the injury is 1. When you go to Sevelugu, we have 1 death recorded and also the injury is 3. So this is the breakdown for 2020 general election finders. We are moving to 2024 general elections finders. Number of deaths, we have Ewutu Senya East, of which you can't forget about it. Yes, we had the 2 women contesting for this seat, and that seat was a hotspot. We have the former Honorable Hawa Kumsin and the current MP. Also, so you could imagine how 2 women, and we recorded 1 death. Injured people there was also 1. When you go to Tolon, we had 1 death recorded. Injury was 0. When you go to Damango was a place that we recorded that even electoral office was burnt down in Damango, and death recorded was 1, and injury was none. When you go to Nkranza South, death recorded in Nkranza South was 1, and injury 0. Offensive North, we had 2 deaths recorded, and injury was 2. When you go to Ahafo Ano Southwest, death recorded was 1, and injury was 3. In all, combining 2020 elections findings and 2024, total injuries recorded was 40. 40 people. and total deaths recorded is 15. So if in general elections, 2020 general elections, 2024 general elections, and 15 people are losing their life, the question is, where is the nation heading towards to? One findings we go to find out was that in 2020, it was just within some few regions. We had the Greater Accra region. We had that of the one from the northern part of the country. So just 3 regions. But in 2024, it was recorded in couples of regions. In the Central region, in Greater Accra, in Ashanti region, and also part of the northern Ghana. So this tells us that in regional basis, the incidents of deaths and electoral violence is kind of escalating. It's kind of escalating. So the question is, what are we going to see in 2020 general election? That is one big question people are asking. But let's take a critical look at the investigation and also related violence. After their findings, what really led to this incident? One was that the Attorney General is currently prosecuting 3 persons who are standing trial at the High Court Criminal Division in Accra. This one is in relation to that of Odododio constituency. And 3 people are standing trial as we speak currently. 3 people are standing trials as we speak currently. And we'll be getting that. The second one also needs to deal with the investigation established that 3 of the cases resulting in 4 deaths are traceable to the use of firearm by police patrol teams. So as a result of firearms by police patrol teams, 3 cases or 3 deaths recorded was a result of the mishandling of firearms by the police.
I've always been asking that these incidents happened when police, and other security personnel were around. Is it that they are not really well resourced or they are not well equipped to fight, perpetrators? Because
these things are also usually politically influenced. So the police are at the risk of falling the hand of some political leader or maybe the MPs or the people competing in that district or constituency. It might be the reason why they may not necessarily be so, hard on with the control and trying to figure this out. I was even wondering that 2020 was, approximately 4 or 5 years ago. Are people even thinking about this anymore? Yeah. Are we not at the risk of like atrium, so we don't even care anymore? But then also when you think about it, if our systems are deciding to go back even 4 years to do these investigations, bring the culprits to book, it says something about us. But, as much as it should have been done in 2020, it's still a good thing. Better late than never, no? Yeah. So one way or another, we are making headway. Exactly.
We are doing that. The next findings make us understand that military personnel were also found to be responsible for 3 of the cases resulting in the death of 3 persons when they intervened to restore calm to chaotic crowds. So their responsibility is to restore calm. But as doing so, their actions led to the death of 3 people.
We can also stop talking about the behavior of certain people, especially when they are confronted by military personnel. They want to show that we have the strength.
Okay.
And then in Burma to in Burma.
But pardon me, no matter how embezzlement to embezzlement would be, you are trained professionals. You know how to handle it very well. So no matter how the incident would be, you shouldn't firearm to an ordinary Ghanaian. But you are there to protect our life. So we shouldn't be seeing incidents like this from the Ghana police or the military personnel. But there are a lot of recommendations of which we will get there and we will talk about that.
But I also want to draw our attention to the fact that at the end of the day, these are humans. You are human before you are a TV host. You are human before you're a soldier. And we were here when there was some crowd control going on and somebody slapped or allegedly slapped, a professional, a military official. And it's like, I'm here to make sure you are safe and you are slapping me. As a human being, as I'm trying to do my job and you're, trying to sort of undermine, definitely there could be a reaction. Now, fortunately, in a sense, it was not a an ordinary citizen. It was somebody, in power. So he could not have reacted. But what about the ordinary citizens? The people who want to challenge the authority.
That is why we are trained professionally. So for that justification, I beg to differ.
You mentioned mental health, right?
Let me get to the other findings.
I'm not justifying. I'm just trying to say that even though it is not something we should commend, but we should also understand this. Now, as we are on TV here, people call in, probably insult us or anything, it will hurt you. The reaction is where, everything would differ, trying to control yourself. So I'm not saying that it was a good thing they did, but we also need to understand that these mobs and these chaotic crowds are also, in a way, playing a role, instigating these people. Because like you said, they also want to do mema to mema. And sometimes the professionalism is like, for professionalism in China, let me deal with these people. And this is what it results in.
That is why you're not supposed to put the professionalism aside. You need to still be in it. When you go to the next point, it says that investigation further established that 4 of the cases which resulted in 5 deaths were recorded when party enthusiasts resorted to the use of firearms against their opponents. So these are political parties who have recorded this incident. The next one or finding says that the 2 other cases involve persons who were lynched during confrontations between supporters of the 2 major political parties. That is the NDC and the NPP. So these were some of the investigation findings from the 2020 general election, 2024 general election. But on it,
can we talk about the influence political leaders have over their followers and how they can, incite whether peace or violence in their followers? Because if a political leader can stand in front of people on a stage and say that a boot for boots,
no Ababa say.
Those kind of statements. Look at how furious the followers become. Like they want to go and fight. So it is high time political leaders start, speaking to their people. They need to set the tone for a peaceful election instead of war to war, fire for fire, oja to oja.
Even with this last point, some people were lynched. Yeah. And it draws my mind to Major Mahama's issue. He was also lynched and, it got out of hand where he was killed. And it's coming back to even these military officials who, some of them ended up, being the cause of death for some people. These mobs, look at the way they are behaving. They surround you and try to beat you. And you too, you're fighting for your life. And it's even begging the question that what exactly is causing them to be so interested in trying to beat and kill one another just for elections, to the point that they are even, trying to lynch security personnel. We saw that with Major Mahama. We nearly saw that in the recent CDM issue to controlling the crowd was an issue. And this has even been happening long ago with regards to elections. And it's like, what manner of frustration? What's happening? How much have you been paid to come and kill people?
They've not been paid yet. Are you going to be paid?
So you see, when you take a critical look at each incident, taking Techima South, the Dodio, and all these things, the minister also made us understand that these areas also there are causes to it. I just want to run viewers through the causes. One is that the injuries could have been avoided had the security personnel not resorted to the use of live ammunition for crowd control. So we could have avoided these incidents.
Yeah.
We could have. When you look at the videos of the incidents, shooting in the crowd was not the best way. And there was another interesting findings from this. They said that the use of firearms by the security personnel was not done under the command of a senior officer who could have ensured that appropriate rules of engagement were observed. So if not, then who commanded them to do? So these are the things we are equally looking out for.
So
Did they use their own authority?
Their own authority.
So I want to ask, do we remember even hearing about the former Honorable Hawa Kumsin firing warning shots in the air? So you see that sometimes it is, I'm not justifying it, this is not to say, it's more of a survival trick or tactic. Something you panic in the moment and it's like, let me do something to get these people to behave or something.
In the situation that happened in the pharmacy where the military man brutalized the attendant, are you saying that he wanted a strategy to show the guy that I have authority?
So for his issue, he wasn't being attacked. There was a policy, it's probably written on their doors, and you came there to come and, fight against that. But that's one to probably with regards to his own esteem
point
issues.
Is just that you should always remember that you're a professional.
Yes,
Exactly.
but here's the case: the crowds,
you work under authority.
I'm not justifying. I really don't want to be misunderstood. I'm talking about the fact that in the moment where the crowd is so large, some of these people are having pocket knives. Look at how, not to sound derogatory, but look at how people get afraid of entering the zongos. You could so easily be killed for something very small. Immediately you're suspected of something so bad can happen to you. So it could be the motivating factor for some of these things that by the time I'm going to ask my commander to give me, they've removed my hand or something from there,
Okay.
These are some of the things we should consider when we are thinking about the angles.
Okay, so few observations, so then I go to recommendations. So security personnel, especially the police patrol teams at the collation center, fired indiscriminately.
Okay, that's okay, then that is...
And in some cases, they directed fire at the escaping crowd. Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
That's a big question.
Okay.
Why would you do that?
Then it means
So,
that these are people who want to sort of impose their power on them, which is not what I was trying to say.
So recommendations from the task force. They said the crowd control response of security personnel by resulting on the firing of live ammunition and also directing fire at the escaping control is not acceptable. Not at all.
Yes, it is not.
It's not acceptable. So don't want to see this in 2028 general elections.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable.
So will anything be done to these personnel who behave in this way? Will
Exactly.
they be identified?
Exactly. There are recommendations from and the Attorney General. Let me quickly go to the actions. Reports refer to AG for compensations to the families of the deceased. So the people we talked about, there have been a report to AG that they should compensate this families of the deceased. But the question is, after compensation, what's next? Life still has been lost. People, their legs were cut, their arms were off. Is it going to come back? So these are some of the things you look at. I think one former member of parliament was talking about the aspects of compensation. If you bring in compensation, people end up telling you, doing more of this. So these are some of the issues that...
say that these victims, some of them are not innocent. They indulge in the act, and then when they face the consequences, they tend to look like, oh yeah, mobile and something. But you knew what you were getting yourself into.
So this even brings my mind to the fact that education about election procedures and what to do needs to be strengthened again. So you are going to vote, there's a crowd, avoid it. Pass where you need to pass, go do your thumbprints and leave. What are you there fighting over? You have your family and you probably haven't even eaten. Go and just mind your business and go. When we encourage people to avoid crowds, it will help with this chaotic issue, because some of these people have been sent there to come there. You may be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Why not stand in your queue? If the queue is too close to the place, I'm behind you, and stand somewhere. Avoid, these are all for survival.
Exactly.
If we don't encourage ourselves to do the right thing, some of the things, it may look like it is obvious, but certain people don't really pick up on that. Let us give the most barest of minimum when it comes to the information that, look, crowd know what, because some people don't know. Some, they are throwing hands, leave, move. If you don't vote, you can vote the next day or something.
When it comes to our local community or setup, almost say you pass them. Exactly. There's a thing that most people will pass them will stress them. That is sometimes what happens. So I just want to take a quick into the Odojojo constituency because of how incidents will happen there. But findings shows that investigation into the incident failed to identify the persons who shot and killed the deceased. That's Rita Otu and Emmanuel Adompre. Findings have not been able to identify those people who killed such two people.
So with the other incidents, they've been
able to
yes,
find
they are tracing it. They are tracing it. And let's quickly get to. I wanted to look at one of them. That is what happened at Damango, because you see, I was mentioning that in Damango they bent down a police. Electoral office over there in Damango. And also, but before I get to Damango, let's talk about Ewutu Senya. It's something we need to talk about, because it's a hotspot for the two women. What happened in Utisenya? Observation says that Honorable Phyllis Nankoyo denying that her convoy was attacked. She was nowhere near the scene of the incidents, and persons who were involved in the incidents have avoided speaking with the task force. While Muhammad Ali and others who were in the Mahindra pickup truck and fire shots from their vehicle have also avoided speaking with the task force. So their opinions have not been established. Muhammad Ali is said to have been flown abroad for further treatment. That is what happened in Utusenya East.
This is so
That's
sad.
the observation. It's so sad. So on this note, I just want to say that elections should not be. There is people used to say do or die and all these kind of things. As you mentioned, sometimes our political leader, their statements, should I say, it gingers the followers, and they act accordingly. People tell you that you need to go to the coalition centers, protect your ballot, do this. So when I tell someone to protect the ballot, how should the person protect the ballot? We already have the security agencies doing those jobs. So why should we go there to protect our ballot? These are some of the questions we need answers to. Why should he say elections should be do or die? What does it mean? Do or die? Does it mean that
you die, the person you voted for will come and
exactly so
alive?
Sometimes we the ordinary Ghanaian, we need to be very careful. We shouldn't be influenced by statements of such nature. Always make sure that your life is very important. Whether you die or you live, the political parties or the leaders will still reign. Ghana will still reign. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is no more. Ghana is still going on. Jerry John Rawlings is no more. Ghana is still going on. So we should be very careful as ordinary, as citizens. And in exercising our franchise, let's do it with honesty and modesty.
Well, I would also like to touch it from the media perspective. We being fortunate to be media personalities, we can all attest to the influence we also carry in terms of our reportage, that kind of thing. We should avoid sensitive issues. I mean, just saying anything at all to get the traffic to our station and all that. We have a very critical role to play. We should always ensure that our reports are balanced. I mean, they are not one-sided.
Neutral.
So that people, your followers or your viewers can get the perspective, the objective perspective you are trying to portray. But if you sound, sensitive and I've been seeing this with most of the local stations. I mean, and as you say, and I see, like these things, they incite violence.
And adding up to what you're even saying, the media is usually termed as the fourth arm of government. The media is the one that bridges the government and the people. We are the ones who probably are able to bring our leaders to be accountable to the people. Because if something goes on, all media outlets are shut down. The normal person cannot hear, cannot see. Then also, as you said, you mentioned the local stations. I am even going to touch on the political ones, owned by political figures. There is something we call propaganda, where it is a half-truth. It could be that, okay, Miriam is wearing a wig, then I would say maybe she has a cornrow under. Then I'll say she has Santo under. Then she's wearing a wig. There's something under. We don't know what it is. So whatever I say, whether it's true, fully true or not, it will be what the person who listens to me would use to act. And that is a very, very big problem we are facing in the country. You remember we even spoke about the fact that they want to extend, there was the suggestion to extend the presidency, right, the office. This was something that the MPP mentioned earlier. Now, if we want to go into the conversation about propaganda, it's like the MPP could have easily accused the NDC that this is what they want to do. I think that was what was going on a little. Now, with that, you'd see that they could incite their followers to stand firmly against it, even if there are maybe good reasons why this should go on. And this is something that we find happening a lot on these politically motivated radio and TV stations, where you find them sitting there with these interviews and they say a lot of callous and cruel things about their own counterparts, and people are listening to you and they think you are enemies. But these are people who will go and do E-levy cake party.
Friends.
I think to end on this very, very discussion on electoral violence and deaths recorded and injured, people who are still, as we speak, suffering currently. The only thing I want to tell viewers and the only thing I want to tell Ghanaians is that we should be very careful whenever it's time for us to exercise our franchise, our constitutional right. And also we need a political class or political leaders also need to be very careful in their commentary, in what they say. We shouldn't just follow anything we hear from them, but we should balance it. You were talking about the aspect of propaganda. That is, I remember 2024, we went to a program, Misinformation and Disinformation.
Yes.
This is something we want to deal away with in the Ghanaian media space. So I think that is something we need to talk more about it, misinformation and disinformation. Thanks be to God now, internet is all over, information is all over. So we wouldn't have a particular media house giving any information at all to any other person, but let an ordinary Ghanaian also visit the various platforms we have, especially sit with Clock TV, because we'll be giving you all updates, up-to-date information on all national happenings, especially when it comes to elections. Pull what to bring you the best.
Right, and Clock TV is apolitical, neutral, so we don't stand with party A or party B. We stand for the truth and peace, safeguarding lives. So Clement, thank you so much for your presentation. Now, continuing the conversation, we have a video of our Education Minister in Parliament speaking on certain pressing issues. So let's take a look at that.
Travel abroad, and we are told rush hours. The workers of Ghana, their problem is just threefold. Housing. All the workers in this country, what they need is for the state to invest well in shelter and housing for them. Then in transport, everywhere in America, you can even be living in Washington whilst working in New York, because there is an effective transport system of train and then by air, and maybe your income matches that. But in Ghana, Mr. Speaker, we all know at 4:30, walk through Accra, you see the congestions. What is the state doing? You see workers stranded. They are just looking for a means to get home and get home on time. Then that leads finally, Mr. Speaker, to our roads. Kumasi, Mr. Speaker, I just got back from Kumasi this afternoon. When you are in Kumasi, the congestion, because we have not opened up the city, yet it's one of the fastest growing cities in the country, the green city. We have not invested in Kumasi Road. From the airport to Lancaster, where the German president was hosting, you have to be struggling through traffic. We need to do more in expanding the road infrastructure of these cities, Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, and Takoradi. Because when we are entering Takoradi, the overhead bridge you started under Sino Hydro, uncompleted. Discipline. What happened? So, Mr. Speaker, I want to commend him for a very academic, this one looks like he's writing a thesis to be awarded something else. But to thank him at least for bringing this matter to fore. But this House, Parliament has a role in the way we allocate resources, not just this Assembly Common Fund. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Travel abroad.
So that was Honorable Aruna Idrisu speaking on key things that are very, very important, especially to the youth and, I mean, to the country at large. Affordable homes, good transport, even spatial planning when it comes to our cities, our towns, our villages. Me, my own is affordable homes. It's very, very important. Good roads.
Because when you sit down to calculate the percentage of your salary that goes into rent,
Preach.
just rent,
yeah,
you end up
preach.
paying 50%, like taking 50% of your monthly salary just for rent. How much are you going to save? Transportation, like it's very disturbing, and I'm very, very happy that for the very first time, I don't know if someone has said it before, but a minister is presenting this. I'm very happy that they should look into it. Now, if they can consider, private partnership with government, if they are going to look into building more affordable houses. The other time we're talking about the China Mall that got burnt, and you were even
and I was saying
that
they should look into housing for us. because they seem to have hacked the system.
Yeah.
Where these, like Clement was saying, they've realized that the commodities that we tend to go and acquire on the open market, the people acquire them from the China mall or from the Asian countries, and inflate the prices and make them so exorbitant. So maybe we can look at that. I remember when NDC came into power, I was saying that I hope that the cathedral swimming pool would be converted into some sort of housing unit, because where it is located would help a lot of civil service staff. If it is about a 10-story with 15 units each, and you can apply just like back in the day the SNIT housing was. If this is something you can do, and then a percentage is taken out of your salary to pay before your salary even comes to you, definitely, because it is something that's an initiative by the government, it's not going to be like some of the wicked landlords that we have that are causing about 50% of our salaries to go into it. But this time, since it's government, it's going to be rather less, because there is an ideal percentage of your salary that should go into rent. I think it's supposed to be about 30%. Like your rent shouldn't be more than 30%, or is it 20% of your salary? But here's the case, like you said, it's sometimes 50% or more. And it comes back to the spatial planning thing, that a lot of people cannot afford housing. So we are finding people living in slums, building just anywhere, doing what they can just to be able to get a place to lay their heads. It's multifaceted though, but this is one of the things that's happening, because look at the Ramsar sites, and people are encroaching on these places because they have nowhere to go. Rent is something they cannot also think about.
Yeah, so Yaira, on the issue of affordable housing, transport, and other basic amenities for ordinary good roads for ordinary Ghanaian, it's very necessary. It's very important. I think I love what the minister said, and I don't know, but a lot of people are saying that the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, Education Minister, is speaking on a lot of reforms that we need as a country, not only in education but other sectors of the country. And this is a very good one he has said. On the issue of affordable housing, let me start from ourselves. Clocksack on 17th of October 2023 launched a very beautiful and wonderful initiative known as the Pimpamsi Housing Scheme. What is the motive? The motive of Pimpamsi Housing Scheme is to help civil servants or civil service staff, also members of Clocksack, to get access to loan facility. And the main purpose of that loan facility is for you to get yourself a place to sleep, a home. That was the essence. So you go for the loan facility, and after using the loan facility to get your home, you pay it bit by bit from your salary. It is a good initiative Clocksack brought on board. And I think a lot of people need to take advantage of this. Because when you go to some companies, some organizations, the interest rate alone on that loan facility is even more than the principal. It's even sometimes more than the principal because of the compound interest thing that they use. But Clocksack Pimpamsi Housing Scheme is not like that. So I think that is one thing that people need to look at, especially members of Clocksack and those in the civil service place. Yeah, I'm still on that. Now let's go to, we have a state housing company, STHC. What is their job? What is their role? Is to make sure housing is affordable. Get more housing into the Ghanaian public for ordinary Ghanaian to afford. That is their mandate. Basically, that is their mandate. But the question is, are they on that mandate? Have they deviated? Or they are still on that mandate? Or is it the meaning that Ghanaians purchase it and they don't pay? So we have a lot of things we need to look at. Is the company resource enough to carry on with their mandate? Because reports I saw, I think some 2 days ago, the company was like, a lot of people have purchased from them, but they are not paying.
That's the Ghanaian mentality.
But they're not paying. So where do you expect them to still get the fund to put on the structures that we are calling for?
Well, as you are also saying that, some of these things are like Clocksack's Pimpamsi Housing Scheme and all of that. I think that for the people, just like banks do, before you get a loan, they need to make sure, they have access to information about your cash flow and all of that. So I think maybe there should be some sort of scrutiny when it comes to that. Now, I was even going to mention the fact that somewhere last year when we were speaking with an official from, I think, Ghana, the Tenants Union, he was talking about the fact that the housing scheme, the affordable housing that the governments have initiated over the years, they tend to import products or goods and equipment to use to, construct these buildings. And then when they put them out, they are sold at very high prices that the average man cannot, pay. And then also, I know a little bit about the SNIT flats, right? And growing up, what we knew was that sometimes some ministries would, acquire one. Then you as a civil service staff can also apply. It's quite like the Prempamsie thing where it is open to the civil service staff. But now when you go to try to acquire one, you hear that it is for sale. It is no longer, because at that time you could, as a civil service staff, you could acquire one room, maybe, so Clocksack has one flat for them, and then the employees are able to acquire some. So you could be there throughout the time period of your service. So in that one, you get to be able to accumulate some money to be able to retire in your own home. But now it is for sale, and it is not something the average man can buy. Those who can buy, even that, you need to pay about a 10% deposit and continue paying for a while. And it's like, what happened? What has made the old system so bad that now they want to sell them?
So Yara, in business, we have what we call, where should I put it? People invest in where there's profit. You wouldn't like to invest in a business entity, and at the end of the day, the returns is very low. Nobody would do that. What was the intention of SNET coming out with this initiative? To help Ghanaians or workers to get access to wherever home they are supposed to have. But what happens if you give it out and people fails to pay? So I am also of a concern that
not to cut you, but with that one, your rent is taken at source.
Oh,
yes.
So
you cannot run away from paying your rent.
We are in this country. We know people took steady leave, and at the end of the day, they went outside the country. They didn't come back again. People take loan from banks, institutions, and now banks are running off bad debt over billions of money.
Yeah.
They take information on Ghana card, but yet still people find ways and means not to pay. We are not talking about that target. So in as much as we want government to come in, let us, ordinary Ghanaian, also move into that aspect of what is our role. In as much as we are calling for affordable housing, we are calling for good roads. What is our role as an ordinary Ghanaian? Yes, government is going to put up the best roads. Now we know, let's say Kumasi and Accra Highway, I'm sorry to use the word, has become like a death trap. Always accidents happen on that very stretch. I think Tuesday, the government was a sword cutting for a road. And he made us understand that the next 24 months ahead of us, that's 2 years, there's going to be major construction of our roads. So we expect these things to happen. In as much as these major constructions are coming, what is the maintenance plan? I always ask for this question. What is the maintenance plan of our road that has been constructed? Let's take a look at Tema, how do you call it? Motorway, which was constructed in the era of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, over 50 years.
Yeah.
The road is still functioning. The road is still in good shape. With a slight potholes, the slight potholes coming in. But in our era, we construct roads in 2 years. And everything is gone. And the amount of money we use in that roads compared to the days Dr. Kwame Nkrumah used is two different things. So these are the things we need to look at. You see, the education minister also said that our budgets need to be really balanced. We end up focusing on one aspect of the country and we neglect the other. So I think all these things need to be looked at critically.
Well, my interest is just the two, the transport and also
the housing. Yeah.
We've spoken about housing. Let's talk about transport. Yeah, look at the number of hours we spend in traffic just to get home.
You spend almost, I think I spend close to 4 hours in and out. So in my 9 to 5, where is 8 hours, there's extra 4 added. So that's 12. So half my day is on the road and at work.
just for you to come to work and go home. In my case, where I live, it requires physical strength. Aside the patience you have, you need to have the strength to fight, literally, just to get into a bus. And the bus you are getting into is not even going to charge the normal price. It's been increased. Now it's a standard. Everywhere is 10 cedis.
Whether you get on, at the next bus stop. Now, I want to remind us that the phone lines are open, so we would like to hear from you. I know housing and transport, especially transportation, is a very big issue. We would like to hear from you. What are your takes on that? And call in and send your messages to our WhatsApp number as well, or to the YouTube or Facebook live stream. Clement, you were saying something about Ghanaians. Okay, please.
I just wanted to say that when I come to work and I'm tired, I look very tired. It's just the strength that has left me.
I think one day we will do the morning show without makeup, so people get to know.
So that means government should look into that. I mean, those that are escalating the transport fares, we beg them. If it is 5 cedis, charge 5 cedis, not increase it to 10
When it's
cedis.
raining, credit is a different issue. When it's raining,
transport.
The increment, it goes even more. And who is regulating them?
That's the
You
question.
can't tell them anything because you are the one in need. You
Exactly.
pay.
And there are people that will pay.
You won't pay. You don't want to go. You want to read the beat
that's the
because
point.
of principle.
No, yeah,
That is the mentality.
yeah, it's not because of principle. I think we need to stand for the right thing
Yes.
as Ghanaians.
But Clement, will you stand for the rate to be to because you want to do the right thing?
You see, these
That's
issues we are talking
decide
about,
not to pay, it
they
will
would
work.
stop. This issue we are talking about every day, we end up talking about Galamsey fight. Then we are saying political class. We end up talking about corruption. We are saying political class. Scandal. We say SML, political class. Those drivers too, they are also doing bribery and corruption.
Yes,
This is where it starts from.
But you see, Clement, in being realistic, right? You've come to work, as we've said, you've spent a number of hours coming to work. You've come to do your work too. It's been hectic. You are going home. You're already tired. Like Miriam is saying, she has to fight. Now, the prices have been doubled or tripled. She has to fight. She's tired. She wants to go and lay her head on the rent she has paid. She wants to enjoy the bit of the rent she has paid before day breaks. When you talk about standing your ground, people are paying to go. She's standing her ground. She's tired. She's standing there. This is the mentality behind people not wanting to try to stand their ground because my bread 5 cedi per minko because my bread. So it goes beyond that too. It's more of if let's say the affordable housing thing is done where it's at certain points. Let's say civil service staff, we have the cathedral swimming pool as our home. You will not go and be fighting because you could even trek and go home. You see, then some of these things are reduced. These are some of the things we need to consider too.
I don't know. I just have a suggestion. I don't know, to business owners or company owners, whatever. They should also consider, getting into housing for their staff.
For their staff, yes, that's true.
If let's say
buses to convey them, yes.
Get a place close by work for your staff just to make life comfortable a bit. Even if you are going to be deducting it from
their salary. Yes, that is even another stream of income. So they have a percentage of their salary be taken, and it is as rent.
Consider, but some people will still prefer to live far from work.
They don't want to be on call. I know certain bosses will come to your come.
I think on the let me just touch on this last on the issue of the roads and its happenings. I want to understand the engineering. That happens or that takes place before road construction is being done. I think yesterday or last 2 days, we saw a protest from residents of Sapperman saying that they need a footbridge in their area because of incident of, let's say, someone being knocked down by a car or something like that. So sometimes we need to take into consideration all these things. We shouldn't let the resident or the community people protest before we take the necessary actions we need to take. So as you could see on the screen, this is what the people of Sepperman were saying, that they need a footbridge. So why would you construct this road without a footbridge for these people? So we need to understand, we need to be, I think we need to be very intentional about certain things.
I also want to ask, what at all do Ghanaians want? Because they are the same
thank God
people,
I didn't get to play the devil's advocate
they are the
today.
same people requesting for a footbridge, yet they will not use it and be using shortcuts. Most of the accidents we witness on highways are because pedestrians are failing to use footbridges.
Yeah,
they go under the footbridge and then prefer to cross it.
You know,
what
Miriam was saying,
okay.
I wanted to draw our attention to the, let me start from Medina Adenta, right? We were in this country when people protested requesting footbridges. These footbridges were constructed to the point where some of them are somewhat redundant. And yet, police have to be at these points, especially at the Medina intersection there, with canes to get these same people who requested for footbridges to climb them.
Okay. I
don't want to play devil's advocate, but you know, Miriam and I think we are trying to say the same thing.
But let me come in here. Sometimes where the footbridge are being constructed is also another thing we need to look at.
I know
I always want to say that I wanted to, or we want to understand how road construction, the engineering things they put in place. Let me just use Kwashiman because that is where I pass to the house. Kwashiman, there's a footbridge, and where the footbridge is, Yaira, it's far like a muchin. Into baby, I can't even see you. Before you walk to where the footbridge is, and you use a footbridge, then you walk back again to another place. I'm going to pick a car. People will prefer, why don't I wait so that when the traffic light is red, when it stops, then I cross. So when you go to Kwashiman, for example, that is what most people do. They don't use a footbridge because of where it has been situated. So we want to understand.
There is a new one being constructed at La Paz. I wanted to do a news feature on that. I wanted to ask what stakeholder engagement went on before the construction, because
around Tama Station, right?
No, La Paz.
La Paz Tama Station, that area.
Yeah. I interacted with those people around and I asked them, did you consult the people? How
Education.
Do you want it?
So, okay.
It's just like a town where they constructed.
Yeah, the well thing, yes. But you see,
consult the people.
Here is the case. Let me use the La Paz stretch. The La Paz stretch was already there. Or even the Superman, the stretch is already there. Now, request for footbridge has come. The engineers would also do some arithmetic about when it comes to how long the staircase and the other one, the slope is. It is based on the fact that the stretch is already there. If we want to make sure that we are not displacing too many people, we're going to have to make it a certain way. These are all some sort of mathematics they do because when you go to Medina, where they constructed the footbridge, there's a bank there, there's a Prudential bank there, and you can see that they couldn't have ended the staircase just there. So they had to sort of make it swirl in a way that you get to come out and then you can walk freely. So these are things we need to also think about when these engineers, we look at it from their perspective that all these people, if you don't take care, you have to clear and displace these people. Either that or make a way that both the footbridge and then the people can also have their source of livelihood not being taken away. They are also there. So that's the way it's been done. Before the
construction of the highway, are they saying they didn't consider constructing footbridges? Because the Kwashiman incident, you could tell that the road was already there before the footbridge came. And constructed footbridge, you are taking it far away from a bus stop.
It is probably because when they checked where to put the footbridge, they thought that maybe it will not work there because the height of the footbridge comes into play.
Then you don't have to construct it at all because at the end of the day, the people are not using it.
So let's consider this. Look at the height of the footbridge. Now, the staircase and the slope for the people, the disabled who may need to use the slope to, maneuver their way in. If a footbridge that high is constructed and then the slope is not done in a way that it is easy to climb and easy to descend, you will struggle. For me, when it comes to footbridges, when I'm using, I take my time. Nobody's chasing me. You take your time and walk. When you walk, especially on the slope, you don't even feel like you are climbing something and it becomes a tedious endeavor. That's one of the things I realized that they considered too.
A different perspective. So in place of the footbridge, if people are not going to use it, why don't you introduce traffic lights? So that if there's a traffic light here and I know, say, this is where I can cross when it is red, that would help instead of constructing a footbridge and then the people avoid it. They don't use it.
So on highways, I think the traffic lights situation is a little different. I'm not very sure of the technicalities, but on a highway, it's a different thing. And then on a there are terms for the road. So all those things play a role. If you know you want the footbridge, make sure you use it. We are seeing the same thing happening at Medina. These people will tell you that, but when you look at it, if it is not that way, you will not be able to use it.
That you see, the problem here is let Ghanaians understand.
Our literacy rates are pretty low too.
No. You see, before you do anything, Mimi raised a point. Consultation is a key. 2, after the consultation, let's involve the people in everything we do. You are doing it for us. You're not doing it for yourself. You, the engineer, after doing it, you don't use it. You don't use it. So if you are doing something for us, fine, we understand you take into consideration our safety. We understand you take into consideration so many things. Explain it to us. You see, Ghanaians, we are such people that we want to understand something. Say okay. You get a point. So Meyantia say tell constructed footbridge, ewo ahano, enya ahano. I say into Meyan Sano. But I won't be behind trying. No, the footbridge, what the baby see. What the footbridge be was open say yen use. Was already nankasa I've struggled with car. My brain. Me walking another 5-10 minutes. Another 5-10 minutes before I can use a footbridge. After using it, I have to walk another 5-10 minutes to come to our pick and a different car. So you see, yes, it's our safety. We understand. But let us understand why. And for example, like Mimi, like the people of Sapema, this road you are constructing, it's already existing road, but you are expanding it. So why didn't you? Probably they are yet to fix it, even before the Sapema brought the call. But if not, I didn't know one for footbridge in Amber. These are some of the answers we need. It's not just
money is disbursed for even the construction crying who's enough footbridge.
No. You're right. Everything it's not just that Ghanaians need too much. We don't need too much. We are not demanding too much from authorities. Neither are we demanding too much from the institutions. All what we are saying is that these are the basic things we need. So just give us the basic things we need. And we are good to go.
Yeah.
And Ghana is a country that is just recently we started introducing footbridges. We are not used to footbridges.
But if you're not used to it and it is here to save your life, come on,
educate us.
You see, with what you were even saying, when you come back to Medina, when you are going towards maybe Adenta, on your right there are shops. I'm using the Prudential Bank because that's like one of the main. And then on the left there is a school, I think Faith something. Now, with the construction of the footbridge, let's say they may have needed to break down the school. This is something Ghanaians too would not have agreed to, you see. So now they have to do their maneuvering.
Educate us.
So
let us understand.
I think we need the public.
When you go to money to construct another one.
Yes, when you go to the road you're constructing from Accra to Takrady, a lot of buildings are being brought down. A lot of factories, schools. We have Francis International School. They are breaking it down. Why? Because they engage them. They made them understand the essence why they are supposed to break down their buildings. But when you go to other roads, other parts of the country, also Omaya Kwine, also Obidan, Obiepe, just close to it. Why? Because didn't you explain? Explain to the person that the reason why we are supposed to pull down your building is because of A, B, C, D. The person will understand. But one can be in the person wakes up to see the red about my die one.
But I want to say we also need to think about the fact that we don't usually have long-term solutions for things. Okay, what's here?
There's a provision.
Now, the provisions are things that we don't tend to hear about being made. And if these provisions are not being made properly for these people where they can feel comfortable that, okay, as much as my building has been broken down, this provision by the government is a good idea, let me buy into it. That is where the problem will be. But notwithstanding, as much as we may be debating about this, the footbridges are here to save our lives. Take your time and walk. Nobody's chasing you. Use these footbridges, safeguard your life so that you will not be a victim of somebody's speeding. And Don't try to look for shortcuts. They say shortcuts are no good. It is true. Please, please, and please, Clock TV is encouraging all of us to use the footbridge, no matter how high the sun is, how much it's scorching, or how much the rain is. Please use the footbridge so that you can live longer. And it's even a bit of exercise for some of us. Now, there was the State of the Youth address by the Minister for Youth, Sports and Development. And so let's take a look at the video, and then we'll be speaking with a psychologist about the mental health of the youth.
4% reports awarenesses of hard drugs like cocaine, heroin, showing that substance use is a very significant issue on our campuses. Our school authorities are addressing these challenges with responsive measures. Research shows that 36% of academic institutions offer counseling, peer support, drug awareness programs, random checks and referrals. Despite these efforts, the challenge remains significant and requires national coordination, investment, and collaboration across sectors. 36% is arguably inadequate, and so we must do more. If all that is available on our campuses is 36%, then collectively, as a country, we must begin to look at our activities, which is critical, because a lot of our young people at that stage of their lives are in schools, and so that is when we need more counseling services to support whatever we go through. In order to address this concerning trend, the Ministry for Youth Development and Empowerment will collaborate with relevant stakeholders to formulate and execute a comprehensive national strategy targeted.
All right, so that was the Honorable Minister, and we have a doctor on the line. He is a senior clinical psychologist at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital in the person of Dr. Edwin Boachi-Yadom. And Miriam will be engaging with him with regards to substance abuse, depression, anxiety among the youth. Miriam, over to you.
Hello, Doc. Hello, Doc. Good morning.
Good morning, Miriam.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Clock TV.
Most welcome. I hope you are doing well.
I am doing well, sir. Now, we just watched a video from the youth ministry as they are certain that about 70% of the youth, facing anxiety and depression are as a result of their involvement in gambling. From your psychological, perspective, how do you think gambling, affects one's mental health? We want to understand the correlation.
Okay. All right. So everything that excites the brain wants, right? So there is like a dopamine rush when you win something. Even when you are in class and we are grading and you come tops, you are excited. The one who is last, it's obvious they cannot be excited. It is the same with our daily activities. Any effort that rewards us, excites us. Any effort that does not reward us or that results in punishment to us affects us negatively. The same way, gambling is just a game of chance, a chance that you don't have absolute control of, right? And yet, if it goes your way, the rewards are exciting to your brain, right?
Yeah.
Which means if people gamble and they win way more than they lose, they are likely to be excited. Yet, even one loss can dampen your spirits. The reason is everyone is expecting the best without preparing for the worst, okay? And when that happens, anything that goes against you has a way of like depressing you in terms of making you sad and all of that. Now, when it comes to the gambling of the day, is now on our phones. Those times people will have to walk to the little kiosk and then stick and wait for a week or so. Now you can do an instant gambling within seconds, you get the results. And because it's hooking, it's addictive,
Now we are fastened the track, and so people easily go in and try as much as possible to win, and they do it repeatedly, which creates an addictive component. Now that they are hooked on, and they keep losing and losing and losing, some may even go borrow money, some may even go steal money, and then eventually they are on the negative side of their financial issues. So definitely it will affect their self-worth, it will affect their psyche in general. So indeed, I am not surprised that the findings are suggesting a higher number of people involved in gambling activities suffering some of these mental health challenges.
But Doc, if you look at the situation, I mean, gambling is just a way of, making quick money for the youth. I mean, they are just there to make money and then, escape stress and all that. Why does it have to lead to deeper issues like depression? I'm just going to make money.
Okay, so you see, remember the gambling agency or the institution, or let me simplify it. The other person on the other side of the table also established their company to make money.
Okay.
So they sell you a quick money scheme and you buy it, but it's actually a quick money scheme for them because the odds are always against you, the one gambling, and the odds are always in favor of the house, right?
Yeah.
Now, when people know this, then they are well informed. But obviously, you are dealing with an invisible hand who has an advantage over you. So yes, you go in thinking you are going to make quick money, when in actual sense, it is a pool of people losing money who are feeding you the one making money. So out of example, 100 people gambling in the same space, probably one or two will win big and they'll make announcements about it. But the rest, the remaining 98 who lost money are not talking about it. So yes, you may think your money is small to earn big. In its aggregate, you're actually taking more money to win small, right? And so it's about the notion. The notion people go in with is wrong to begin with. And that is why you think you are going to make quick money. And obviously, yes, let's say you go in to make quick money, but there is a flip side, which means you are going to make quick losses, right?
Yeah.
And whilst you are making quick losses, someone on the other side of the table is making quick money. In the end, it's quick money. But check who is making the quick money. You are not the one making the quick money. Rather, the house is making the quick money.
Interesting. Now, Doc, let's look at some of the early signs that, shows that someone is addicted to gambling.
Okay. So obviously, in fact, when you see the videos out there, you would see. You will find someone in church playing aviator. You'll find someone in the classroom playing or gambling, right? You'll find people moving away from their home to go and spend more time outside, especially at gambling stations. Those would have been obvious signs in times past, except for the fact that now the gambling house is in our home, in our phones. And so you realize people who are hooked onto gambling and becoming addicted spend more time on their phone, not doing any other thing but gambling. Just like some people can be hooked onto social media and do scroll the whole day. The same way they may be on their phone doing scrolling, gambling, which means it dissociates them from social interactions. They no longer associate. They may be in the same house with you, but then they are not there. You may be on the same dining table eating and talking, and he is not talking. He's talking to his phone. Why? Because he is hooked on which means it is taking them away from social interaction. So when you realize someone is becoming more and more withdrawn and more on their phone, it is a possibility that they are getting hooked onto that which they are doing. And if it's gambling, they are getting addicted to gambling.
Well,
then again, there are withdrawal thinking. If their phone spoils for one day and they take it to the repairsman and the repairsman says, come tomorrow, their whole day may be in a mess because there is something that is missing from them. And they may show actual signs of withdrawal where they no longer, I mean, every now and then they want to go back to your phone, and if you are unfortunate to be near them, they want to get your phone to do something. That is what they are going to do. So anything that you are not able to delay gratification on when you are, example, in an open space, say you are at the office where all of you are working together, you have schedules to meet. But instead of meeting, you are distracted to go and do that. In other words, to go and gamble. It is a sign, or at least an early sign, that you are getting hooked onto and you must pay attention.
Okay, Doc, I have 2 more questions for you. Now, in your own experience, I mean, what would you say are the factors that make our young people vulnerable to gambling? Because people are raising concerns of unemployment, peer pressure, and even social media, talking about addiction. In your case, what do you think is making our young people vulnerable?
Well, all of these are contributing factors. And in addition to that, the whole desire to make it and the scamming nature of the information given, right?
Okay.
Usually people start, in fact, all forms of addiction are quite similar. People start with the social engagement of it. Oh, I'm doing it for fun. Oh, I just want to understand how they do it. And then as they do it for fun, it becomes more and more fun. It excites their interest, especially when they win. And then they want to do more and more and more. One other thing that appears like a good thing but a very bad thing is hope. When it comes to issues like this, what sustains the addiction is the hope that one day I am going to break the machine. If you've heard people say things like that, one day I will break the machine and I'll be a millionaire. You know, so hope that one day this game of chance will favor me and me alone is something that, in addition to all that you have mentioned, also sustains the gambling or the addictive behavior.
Okay, Doc. Now let's look at the coping, strategies these young people who find themselves in situations like this can, help them recover from such situations.
Right. So for me, I believe so much in social support. In the Twi language, there's an adage that says, if you don't sell your sickness, you may never get a solution to it. Okay. It is important that if you are listening to me and you think you are getting hooked or you don't want to get hooked onto it, it is important you talk to someone who would be an accountability partner. Discuss what you want to do and how you want to do it, or get their opinion on how best these things can be done, and then have accountability partnership meetings. Now, there are people who don't even know where to begin from. That is why it's important to seek professional help. Right? Like I said, getting professional help in these instances help a lot. Now, one thing that professional support gives is perspective. Okay? Wired in all of us is the ability to deal with almost every problem that comes our way. And so sometimes we need better perspectives from professionals, and then we are on track to dealing with these problems. And so we cannot minimize the importance of professional support. It's very, very important, right? So getting professional support goes a long way to help us. And in getting professional support, you don't even wait to be in the situation or in the problem. Sometimes you can get professional support because you realize, following the pattern over time, you may go where the others have gone. You may become hooked onto it. You will be addicted. So you don't even wait. In other words, don't tell me, oh, I am not addicted yet, so I'll not go see a professional. I mean, even without being addicted, it's better. In fact, it's always better to solve the problem before it becomes a full-blown problem. Right.
Yeah. All right, Doc. Thank you so much. We have learned a lot. Thank you so much for your time.
Hope to have you in the studio with us one of these days. Thank you so much. So, risk analysis for Pamucho. Take time to see a professional, get an accountability partner. We know, times are hard. You want to make some money, but, be measured in how you indulge in these things so that you don't become an addict and give yourself more mental health problems than the need for money is already giving you. Now, we have a comment here, and this is by HM Joe. This is related to the election issue. It says, due to past incidents, in simple terms, when it comes to elections, we trust no one. Not even the police or military can be trusted to protect the ballot. The government in power might influence them. This seems to be the sentiment of a lot of Ghanaians. Now, let's go into the conversation about our Speaker of Parliament talking about the attacks on Nimus and, some of the things he said that nobody is going to be, let go. Nobody will go scot-free, especially the members of Parliament who may be one way or another involved in such activities. So let's take a look at the video.
On a team from the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, a task force which we all know has been established to combat illegal mining activities in the country, is most worrying. Also worrying is the fact that the attack was allegedly incited by one of our own, the Member of Parliament for Asitifi North constituency, Honorable Ebenezer Kwekuado, who further ropes in a senior member of this House, Honorable Collins Dowda. While I'm yet to be fully briefed on the matter, I want to take this opportunity to condemn in no uncertain terms the attack on the team of security officers who have been assigned to help deal with the menace of Galamsey, which has to be dealt with robustly. I have therefore instructed the Office of the Clerk and the Legal Services Office to provide all the needed support to the investigation by the Ghana Police Service within the framework of the 1992 Constitution, the laws of this country.
And so let me also indicate that as members of Parliament, we do not consider ourselves being above the law, that we are always ready to be held accountable for our actions and inactions. We passed the law establishing the law enforcement agencies. We approve the appropriations to finance them to carry out these assignments that we have assigned them. And we pass the laws defining the crimes, and also we invite them to this House, and we often try to hold them accountable for the extent to which they are enforcing the law.
So that was two videos, or those were two videos by our Speaker of Parliament and then the Majority Speaker Mahama Ayariga. And I think what the Majority Speaker said, I think I would like to see it in action.
Yara, this happened on I think on Tuesday. I was in Parliament. I was in the chamber, so
You got first-hand info.
I witnessed, yes, live proceedings that very day. Speaker made this statement because, as he said, the recent attack on the 9 mosques, and it's not, or it wasn't a good thing that happened that very day. And I think the reason why Speaker need to speak on this issue was because of the alleged member of Parliament involved in this very issue. So he needs to address the House on that very matter. In Speaker's submission, he spoke about two things I picked from it. The first one was the fact that, one, he has ordered the legal service of Parliament and the clerk of Parliament to provide all the necessary support to the investigative body or any people who are in charge of this very matter. So they should support them when they need, maybe. And also he said that his office is not and will not shield any member of Parliament who engages in any form of alleged illegality or who is even currently under investigation. His office will not do that. He also gave a warning to the member of Parliament that indeed you have a lot of privileges you do enjoy, but you should be very careful that your actions and inactions influence the life of your citizens or the life of your constituents. It's mostly either incite them to do a good thing or incite them to do a bad thing. So he equally spoke on that very matter, that members of Parliament should be very careful in how they handle themselves. On that very incident, we saw that of the video of the Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga, and before that, the Minority Leader Honorable Alexander Afenyo-Markin also spoke on the same matter. This time around, Honorable Minority Leader spoke on two issues, and Yara, it was very, very profound. And a lot of people after his submission were like, yes, this is the way to go. And people asked, is it because probably he was not in office or something like that? But what he said is the way to go. Why? Because he rise to say that, one, the political class has failed in the fight against Galamsey. He said that on the floor of Parliament, that the political class have failed in the fight against Galamsey. He even used a point where our former president, Koko, said that he's going to use his presidency on the line, that if he's unable to fight this illegal mining. So people were speaking, other members of Parliament were making kind of noise that what happened. So he said the reason why the president was not able to fight this issue of illegal mining was because the political leaders were people who were involved in this such act of illegality. That is why the president was not able to achieve such ambition. On his statement or on his submission, he equally made a call that let's take away the partisan politics from the fight against Galamsey. Let's take away the political lens from the fight against Galamsey. And let's have a roadmap. Let all stakeholders come on board. Let the political leaders or political class people come on board. But this time around, we shouldn't do it NDC, NPP, CPP, PNC, or whatsoever. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a plan. And let's solve this issue once and for all. And I think the call that Minority Leader raised on the floor of Parliament on Tuesday was a good one. It was a good cause that the road to go is that let's all come together. Let's take away other interests, other matters. People are even saying that assuming if the member of Parliament really indulge in such acts, what is the end result of the findings? People have this kind of misbelief in how investigations are being done and might think that maybe the right findings might not come out. But as Speaker said, his office is in support of that, as the CID also are saying that they are taking this issue up once and for all. And lastly, on what the Majority Leader said, Mahama Ayariga also said, yes, indeed, Even him was the one that the interior minister called. That's Honorable Muntaka Mubarak called him that, yes, they need one room of parliament for interrogation. So he invited him and the issue started from there. And he also said that, indeed, we passed the law for these very institutions to work. So if we've passed the law for them to work, then we shouldn't intervene, or we shouldn't be found in their activities. We shouldn't be preventing them from what we've been asked them to do, because we are the same people who hold these people accountable.
Yeah.
So he was also making such calls. But I think what the next thing we will be expecting from Parliament is that they have more deliberation. Yesterday, they had a deliberation on this illegal matter, Galamsey issues, but we're expecting more deliberations, and also we expect, even as we want the nation to bring up a roadmap, we're also expecting Parliament as a house, as a body, as an institution, to bring up a roadmap that if any member of Parliament is found in this kind of activity, what is Parliament as an institution going to do? So these are the things people are equally calling for, so that this issue of fight against Galamsey, as we want the president and the other authorities to handle it very well from the leadership point of view, let all stakeholders come on board and deal with it once and for all.
Yeah, you mentioned the fact that our former president said, he would put his presidency on the line, but later on we came to hear that he's saying that, political leaders were also part of it. This is not an indictment on his presidency or his leadership in any way, but then the case too becomes that if you are willing to put your presidency on the line, then it means that you are willing to bring your, political leaders who are in government with you to book, if you find out that these people are also doing these things. Now, as the majority speaker is saying that, no one is above the law, majority leader, sorry, no one is above the law, then if we find that these people, some of their colleagues are involved, they should be able to put aside any ties and bring them to book, because these people are part of the reason the nation is crumbling. And we are talking about the fact that we need to save lives and things, and it's basically like my co-host and I here, and one person is doing something bad and I'm silent, saying that, this, and trying to find other ways when the root cause is sitting right in front of me. This is what we Ghanaians need to see. That's why right after the video I mentioned that we want to see it in action. If the recent NIMOS issue, I remember Honorable Collins Dowda, and the other one, I don't remember his name very well.
Honorable Ebenezer Koko.
Honorable Ebenezer too. If these two are found guilty of being involved in it, we need to see something, regardless of the fact that Honorable Collins Dowda is a senior member of parliament and whatnot. I'm not trying to say they should be scapegoats or anything, but this is what's at hand. Let us see that, okay, you're going to make them accountable, you're going to bring them to book, if it's prosecution, if it is stripping them of their rights or their positions as members of parliament or leaders and whatnot. We need to see it happen so that it serves as a deterrent to the others. So if you are involved, you start getting your affairs in order to stop that operation. And then we know that whatever our leaders say, it is not just lip service, but there is action backing it. Because if we don't see that happening, we know that, because a lot of Ghanaians watching that video would probably say, they are just trying to make us feel like they are doing something, but all of this kasakwa. And we need to see the action. Bring them to book.
Leadership starts with, self-conduct. And we all know the role of the National Assembly's internal monitoring and security officers, that's the NIMOS.
Yeah.
They are not there to play a political role, but an administrative role. And so if you're a member of parliament and you are being asked, to respect them, you have to respect them.
These are all offices, yes.
Yeah. Your office is in your constituency. My office is also here.
So if you are a member of parliament and Galamsey is going on there, it does not mean you should also come and say that NIMOS cannot operate and stop the Galamsey just because it is your constituency. Your constituency is being destroyed. You should rather stand against that destruction. So if it is found that you, as the member of parliament for that constituency, you are engaged in it, maybe we would have to strip you of your member of parliamentship so that you know that we mean business. Because in the next 20, 50 years, generations coming, what happens to them? Even now, people are relying on pure water already. what happens in the next 10, 50 years?
So a bit of correction. It's National Anti-Illegal
Yeah.
Mining Operations Secretariat.
Okay. Thank you so much. You see, Yara, this fight, last Tuesday, we were talking about it, and different perspective was on board. But I think the reason why today we are speaking from this angle is because the fact that the Speaker of Parliament addresses in Parliament. Majority leader spoke, minority leader spoke. That is why today we are taking it from that angle. But let's say the truth that sometimes the ordinary Ghanaian also make the members of parliament, you call them for anything, you call them for school fees, you call them for this, you call them for this. So the question is, where do you expect them to get the money from? We are not justifying their actions, some of them, sorry. We are not justifying the actions of some of them. But we are saying that ordinary Ghanaian, sometimes let's also know how to handle certain issues because the members of parliament, the question is, how much is their salary? So if we expect them to be able to cater for all these things we are talking about, where should they get the money from? No, let us be sometimes be real on certain issues. Because, for example, if you expect a member of parliament to take care of your kids' school fees, to do this, to do A, to do that, to do... At the end of the month, his salary is gone. Where does he get money even to take care of his own family? So sometimes ordinary Ghanaian mount a lot of pressure on the member of parliament and other leaders that we have.
So when you do that,
so when you do that, the only option they have is to move into other avenues. But we know by the grace we have a very God-fearing leaders in our country. We have people who always want the right thing to be done. So on that note, of which I know our Speaker of Parliament is someone who wants the right thing to be done. I know, Yara, let's see how this investigation turn out.
Right.
And you'll get a very good one.
Okay, so lastly, our security services are recruiting, and so yes, I think the Ghana Prison Service, Ghana Immigration Service, and then there's the last one,
Fire Service
as well, and the police. So there is recruitment ongoing. You don't need to pay for anything at any point in the process. So please keep it in mind. It is starting from the 15th of November to the 15th of December. So please find the right outlet. I think even Clock TV will be bringing more information on that soon. So get the right outlets, make sure you meet all the qualifications, don't present any false documents. You will be prosecuted. They've said that already. So get to the news outlets and, their websites, find out more information. I'm sure, Clement, you have more information on that.
No, I know that someone was watching, and his Opito says he has been watching from Takrady all these while. And I want to say thank you so much for watching Clock TV and staying glued to it.
Yeah, we also have to commend this government for making this public. I mean, previously we always hear of recruitment, but we wanna. We thank them. That shouldn't also mean that we've opened it, but we have our people already.
Right, that is true. That is very true. I'm hoping they extend the time because 1 month may not be enough.
Oh yeah, you're right. It should be enough.
We have people who are ready.
Whatever your documents are,
just get it.
Well, it's also because of the number of people and the pressure that will be put on. You see, it will be a small recruitment board. So, they need enough time to sift through and conduct their interview process.
And I like the fact that it is open to everybody. They've given, departments, drivers, cooks, nurses, degree holders, SHS leavers, like a whole lot of... So I'm just happy about that.
Maybe I'll go and apply because someone has told me, people have actually told me before that I look like I could be a soldier. Well, that's just on a lighter note. So in essence, please find your documents. Don't pay anybody for anything. Anyone asking you to pay anything is lying to you. Make sure you don't falsify anything on your documents, and please do well to apply if you are interested in joining this as a means of employment, and please go and conduct yourself very well. Now, this brings us to the end of the online and print review, the extended version. Thank you so much for joining us here. Thank you for your comments and, tuning in. We hope to see you same time next Tuesday. Up next is a sports segment, and today I am reading the sports news. I've learned 1 or 2 things from Benedict Nketiah, so I'll be filling in for him. We'll be right back. You're welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show, and it's time for sports, and we'll be bringing you local and international sports updates. And so let's get into the stories. So the very first one is about Bichim United, and they are appointing Kobina Emisa as the new head coach. So Ghana Premier League, the Bichim United has announced the appointment of experienced tactician Kobina Emisa as their new head coach. The coach is taking over from Stephen Desmond Issa Boche, who was sacked on Monday, November 3. Now, the decision to relieve the former coach of his duties became necessary after a series of bad results in the 2025-2026 Ghana Premier League year. Now, secondly, CAF expands 2026 Women's AFCON to 16 teams. So the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has expanded the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations WAFCON to 16 teams, adding 4 nations to the tournament following the completion of the qualification process. So now we have Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Mali, and Egypt to have joined and been included despite failing to qualify after CAF's executive committee approved the expansion. Now, the third story here says former England captain Beckham knighted by King. So, former England captain Sir David Beckham has been formally knighted for his services to football and the British society. The 50-year-old, who was named on King Charles's birthday honor list earlier this year, was knighted by the King during a ceremony in Berkshire on Tuesday. Beckham was joined by his wife Victoria and his parents Sandra and David at the Windsor Castle. And finally, the demolition of iconic San Siro Stadium confirmed. I think this is pretty sad news for some. And the demolition of San Siro, widely regarded as one of the world's most prestigious football stadiums, has been mooted for years as its condition has deteriorated over time. Now, the two clubs who have shared the stadium since 1947 have paid 197 million euros to the city council to take control of the structure and surrounding land, which they say is a sign of shared ambition for long-term success. Now, this is all we have for you on the Sports Update segment. Up next is the business segment with Clement Yabankwe.
Good morning, welcome to the Business Update segment. I am Clement Yabankwe. Now, on to our stories. Inflation in Ghana has fallen sharply to 8% in October 2025, according to data released by Ghana Statistical Service. This marks the lowest inflation rate since June 2021 and is the latest indication that country's price pressure are easing. The October figure represents a 1.4 percentage point drop from 9.4% recorded in September, and a dramatic improvement from the 23.8% inflation seen in December 2024. Month-on-month inflation also slid by 0.4%, signaling a modest fall in general prices levels across major categories.
Speaking at a press briefing in Accra, government statistician Dr. Idrisu Al-Hassan said the sustained decline is attributable to coordinated monetary and fiscal measures aimed at restoring microeconomic stability. For the first time since June 2021, Ghana has achieved single-digit inflation. This means that the rate at which prices of goods and services are increasing has slowed significantly, he noted. Dr. Al-Hassan added that key improvements were observed in food, transport, and housing cost categories, which have direct bearings on household welfare. Economists welcome the return to single-digit inflation as a positive signal for investor confidence and consumer purchasing power, but caution that sustaining the trend would hinge on stable global commodity prices, exchange rate discipline, and prudent fiscal management.
Away from that, the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA, has called on government to abolish tax incentives and review royalties rates under Ghana's mining regulations to ensure the nations extract optimal value from its mineral wealth.
Presentation at a seminar on natural resource management, the IEA argued that Ghana's current fiscal and legal framework for the extractive sector is outdated and disproportionately benefits multinational mining firms, while Ghana's rich mineral endowments has long anchored economic activity. The think tank pointed out that returns to the states remain relatively weak compared to the scale of extraction. A major thrust of the IEA's recommendations is the elimination of tax holidays, royalty caps, and stabilization agreements that, it says, skew benefits structures in favor of foreign firms. Data presented show that in 2024, Ghana's total industry revenue was $7.1 billion, yet fiscal payments, which are tax, royalties, and dividends, amounted to 17.68 billion Ghana cedis, suggesting that substantial gaps between extraction value and state receipts. The IEA specifically flagged the law underpinning the sector, the Minerals and Mining Act 2006 at 707, as seen urgent need of reform to reflect current technical capacities and global norms. Among recommendations, raise or remove the 5% royalty cap, strengthen local participation rules, and anchor dispute resolution mechanisms within Ghanaian courts.
On the same story, former Chief Justice Sophia Akufo, speaking at the event, echoed the IEA's concern, underscoring that as long as the regime remains skewed, the country will continue to gain less than it could from its natural wealth base. Now on the energy sector, Ghana's energy minister and transition, John Abdullahi Jinapor, has revealed that the country's oil sector has suffered a sharp decline, with production falling by 32% between 2019 and 2024. He disclosed that crude oil output dropped from 71.4 million barrels in 2019 to 48.2 million barrels in 2024. He described as worrying for the country's revenue generation and energy outlook.
Speaking at the 2025 Local Content Conference and Exhibition in Takoradi, the minister said the slump in production has significantly reduced government income, foreign exchange earnings, and opportunities for Ghanaian firms to participate meaningfully in the petroleum value chain. He noted that the decline is being driven by structural challenges, including regulatory inefficiencies, protracted licensing processes, and frequent policy changes that discourage investor confidence. According to Mr. Jinapo, avoidable legal dispute over field unitization, rigid fiscal terms, and an overburdened tax regime have also contributed to the downward trend in oil output. To address these setbacks, the Energy Ministry has directed the Petroleum Commission to prepare advisory papers and consider terminating the agreement where operators have failed to perform their obligations. In addition, a legislative review committee has been inaugurated to examine Ghana's upstream petroleum framework and recommend amendments to existing laws such as the Petroleum Act 2016, Act 919. The review will also focus on ensuring that the fiscal regime is flexible, risk-sensitive, and forward-looking enough to attract investment into frontier and deep water exploration areas.
Thank you so much for staying with us for the Business Update segment. I am Clement Yabankwe. Do enjoy the rest of the show.
And you are welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. What a beautiful way to, gear us into the weekend in an exciting way. I am Miriam Abna Adede, and it is time for our lifestyle conversation. And just as we always do or normally do, we bring an artist in the studio to help us walk us through his journey or her journey into the music industry. And that is what we are going to be doing today in the next 20 minutes as we end the show here on Clock TV. You are being reminded that we are streaming live on Facebook and also YouTube as well. You can get interactive with us via these streaming platforms and also via our WhatsApp number displayed on the screen. Now, I have with me a young artist, and today's topic is very interesting. We are saying that evolving sounds, the journey of a modern musician. And so I have a Gen Z musician here with me in the studio. He's in the person of Koko Sleek. Did I get the name right? For the 5th time. So Koko Sleek, born Isaac Kweku Wadie Ofori, is a rising Ghanaian Afro swing artist known for blending Afrobeat, rap, and soulful melodies. His music draws influence from artists like Kwesi Arthur, J. Hus or J. Hus. Hey, Oracle. And so he stands out for his versatility. Effortlessly switching between singing and rapping to tell authentic modern Ghanaian stories. And so if you're wondering the kind of music Oracle does, let's take a listen to, a performance from him. You were feeling the vibe in your house, all right? Hey. Let's take the chorus again.
My girl, will they hold me for ransom?
Bad girl with the hold me for ransom. But in me where she wants.
Hey.
One day we go pull up in a phantom. And other boys then go see say we dey drive some. But in me where she want, me where she want. She never go fi move.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, when we talk about Gen Zs, I mean, you guys like vibe, money. I heard you said one day over there.
Pull up in a
You
phantom.
pull up. So what's the inspiration behind the
Ransom.
song? Yeah.
So Ransom is a song. It's when anyone hears Ransom,
Yeah.
you think about love, but it's an addiction to
So
me.
hold on for me.
Yes.
Let me remind our viewers that we are streaming live on Facebook and also YouTube. And this session is the lifestyle segment, and obviously is part of the Koko Digest Morning Show. And we are having an interaction with an artist. We usually do this, normally on Thursdays, and so you are not lost. Stay with us here. Engage us with your thoughts on our streaming platforms. Back to you, real quick.
Yeah, so Ransom, when you hear Ransom, when you listen to the song, love comes to your mind first. But with me, it's love, motivation, and then and addiction. You get it? So
Okay.
when you listen to Ransom, it's like there's a message there telling you, like, you being addicted to something, but you can't let go. Not a woman per se, but
I even wanted to ask you, in this song, what were you addicted to? A woman, right?
yes.
Hey, very cool. So, how long have you been doing music?
4 years now.
4 years.
Yeah.
How did it start for you? Some people started from churches, their communities. How did it start for
So
you?
to me, I'm a person who likes music a lot. Like, I can listen to music all day. So every time I listen to music, it keeps telling me, yo, this thing you can do it. Like, this thing you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. So one day, I remember how I started now. One day, I think I first took a pen and a paper, trying to write something down, but I couldn't blend the words together. It wasn't making sense. So I used to listen to Sarkodie a lot, Sarkodie and Kwesiata at that time. There were those, and then UK artists too as well. So when I listened to them, then I'll just steal a line from this guy, then I'll steal a line from this guy, and try to fit it in. So that's how it started. So I hadn't been to the studio before. I'd never gone to the studio before at that time.
Wow.
So that time it wasn't making sense. So there was one guy in my hood. His name is Nanafune. Shout out to him. So he was the one who took me to the studio first. And then I met Venom and then Sosa. So he told Venom, yo, Charlie, this is my kitty, bro.
Yeah.
So you go put them on if you come. Then you will show him some things with music. So when I went there, every time I go there, I don't record because I don't know how to do it. So I just go and observe.
Yeah.
So I was just observing for some time. And then the one day, Venom just sent me a beat. And then I wrote a verse to it. Not a full song, but just a verse. So I went to the studio, and then we played the beats, and then I recorded. And I was like, yo, Charlie, this thing be fire, this thing be fire. And then Sosa came in and was like, yo, this thing should be fire. So they mixed and mastered that song that very day. So that's how everything started.
I know you are not a music engineer, and this is not the only sound you've sung on.
Yeah.
How do you choose a particular sound to sync with your music?
With my music. So normally it comes off with, if I listen to the beat and then the beat speaks to me. So I used to record with vibes, like how I'm feeling. So sometimes I can just listen to a beat today. It wouldn't sound nice to me, but tomorrow it will sound nice to me.
Why? Why is it so?
It's
is
a
it
feeling.
Because of a feeling?
Yeah.
Hey.
So it's a feeling that comes. Sometimes I can just wake up from sleep and then I'll feel like I should write a song. But if I force it, it wouldn't come.
It wouldn't come.
Yeah.
So when you are about to produce a song, what do you think about? Do you think about, let's say, women or money or life? I mean.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That sometimes it's based on how I'm feeling at that moment. So this time, maybe I'm going through this, I have to write this. Sometimes it's not just about me. Sometimes it could be my friends. And then sometimes what's around me. Yes.
So you are a rapper too, right?
Yes.
And in your bio, we read that you do Afro swing.
Yes.
What's that?
So it's a mixture of Afro swing. Afro swing is Afro beats, hip life, dancehall. It's a mixture of Afro beats, hip life, dancehall, trap to create a sound. You get it? So it's like Afro beats. There's you hear an Afro beat, but there's rap in that Afro beat. You get it? Yes.
Okay. Are you the only one doing Afro swing? Because this is my first time.
So Afro swing is from the UK.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but I try to blend this with what we have here, with the tree pigeon to create a different sound. Yes, yeah. So with Ransom, the song you listen to, you see it's like there's rap and then there's singing in the song. Yeah, so it's a very different sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you will not call yourself like a rapper, an independent rapper, but you do everything. So
I'm an artist, so it's like I'm a singer and a rapper at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it not difficult being a singer and a rapper?
No, because it's not difficult for me because I try to blend the two in one instrumental.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in this Ghana music industry we all find ourselves in, where would you fall? I mean, because we have categories in terms of awards and other things. We have dancehall artists. We don't have Afro swing. So where do you fall?
So Afro swing is from Afrobeat. So normally it will fall under Afrobeat.
Oh, okay.
But it's a different type of genre. I think with time people will start to embrace it well.
Oh, okay.
So it's from Afrobeat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And under Afrobeat, do you look up to somebody doing Afrobeat in Ghana? Who would that person be? Because I read something like Kwesiata and
Kwesiata has the ability to sing and rap at the same time. Yeah. So I was inspired by that.
Oh, okay.
So with Afrobeat, I'll say Kiddy.
Kiddy?
Yeah.
Kiddy does Afrobeat?
Yeah, he's an Afrobeat singer.
I see. Yeah. So aside Kiddy, who else? I thought you were going to mention Kwame Eugene because you have Kwame Eugene's look small. That's your
yeah, he has the Kwame Eugene look.
And you
look alike a little.
I'm trying to who medical. Yeah, so let's talk about collaborations. Have you had any collaborations so far?
Yeah, so I have a song Jackpot with my friends. That's AD and Abalu. Yeah. And then I have another one too with some guys, which is not out yet. So I don't put it out.
And all these people, we don't know them, know them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, also
are you not looking at having bigger collaborations?
Yeah, so that I want to establish a fan base before, a solid fan base before I would try to get those big artists on my song. Because I feel like if I haven't established myself there yet, it wouldn't make sense like that. Because
normally
I would want the song to do very, 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 very well. So if you have the fan base with their fan base too, it's a plus.
Yeah. And after 4 years, you finally decided to take it very serious. Yeah. Why didn't you start after a year or two?
So, cause you see, music, you don't work alone. So that time it was me alone doing everything.
Oh, okay.
Like I didn't know much about the business side of music.
Okay.
So until I met my team, and then they taught me the business. My manager taught me the business side of music.
Oh, okay.
So I started working with them, and then I realized that this thing I have to take it serious.
So you have a management now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How does it feel working with a management as an upcoming artist? Is it challenging?
So ours is like a community.
Oh, okay.
We have a label that is GRO recognized. It's something owned by us. It's a community. So it's like we are family. It's not that we met someone from here. We all know ourselves already. So it's something that we are building together. Yes, so, but it's not challenging. Sometimes you have ups and downs, but it's all part of the music.
Let's look at some of the challenges you've encountered as an upcoming artist. Should I say upcoming? You're already out. So, I mean, as an artist in Ghana, what are some of your challenges?
So I think coming out, I think you would have to make music that will stand out. Because the music scene is competitive. So you have to make music that would speak to people. Like, you would sound unique. And it's not easy doing that.
I know, right?
Yeah, so you have to keep on going to find your sound. And I think if you stay true to yourself, you get it. You don't have to sound like somebody. Because if you sound like somebody, they've already heard that before.
Yeah.
So you would have to be unique. So I'm still in the process of doing that.
In terms of finances, you don't have challenges. Make sure I hear that. You're dusted.
It be grace.
It be grace, eh?
Yeah, it be grace.
But I mean, let us know, how do you fund your music videos, or you don't have any music video yet?
We have a music video.
How do you sponsor that or fund that?
Our team and I.
Where do you get the money from? You shall live vibes.
Yeah, oh God.
On God.
God, they do have.
I see. So it's not really challenging when it comes to...
It's challenging a little because we are independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so what message do you seek, like, for people to take out from your music? Like, if I listen to Oreku's song, I should take a message. What message?
So when you listen to my music, you find love in there, motivation, happiness. Yeah.
I see. And, you know, being an artist, definitely you are going to encounter a few critics here and there. How do you handle that? Maybe ABR or voice in your day, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I take every critic, like, I take it as motivation to work towards that. So it's not everyone that I listen to like that. Sometimes I can just block my ears to pretend like I've not heard it, but I've heard it. So I'll just try and sit down and notice if what this guy said maybe is true. Let me see if I could work on that. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so your last words before we take your last, or do you have any upcoming projects?
Yeah, so for now it's just the singles that we are releasing now. So
Christmas is coming.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, okay. So your social media platforms.
So Oreku Sleek. The Sleek has 3 E's. Okay. So Oreku Sleek on Instagram, Oreku Sleek on TikTok, Sleek Legend on X.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
No Snapchat. I want you. I want you bloody. But why Sleek? Sleek. Why?
So Sleek was a name given to me by my brother.
Your brother?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Oreku is my name. Oreku is my name.
Oh, okay.
So before that, I was just Sleek. I was just going with the name Sleek. But I felt like I needed a Ghanaian name to add to the Sleek so that when people hear the name, they know that, this guy is
it's a nice name. I mean, it's a nice name. Oracle, that's your camera. Say something to your followers, loved ones, even enemies. Say something to them.
So I thank everyone supporting Sleek, Oracle Sleek. And then I'll be dropping new singles, so they should just expect more from me and stay with me.
Okay.
Be patient with me. Yeah.
Be patient. Yeah. Producer, do we have another track, by Oracle? songs are on, Audio Mac.
All the streaming platforms.
All the streaming platforms. So please do well to stream Oreku's song. Let's support him. He's doing so well. I like this one as well. What's the title of this?
Blow Up My Phone. Blow Up My Phone.
Blow Up My Phone. Hey, Oreku Pempa. Anyways, that's how we wrap up on today's Koko Digest Morning Show. It has been an exciting time here. We enjoyed your company. We enjoyed your engagement. I am Miriam Abna Adede. Thank you so much for staying with us. A big thanks going out to the technical team, our producers, and every single person who made the show a success. Now, we are reminding you again that you can watch or have a playback of the show on our streaming platforms is there. So just please do well and watch us there. Don't also forget to stream Oreku's song on all the streaming platforms. We are out.